Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back. Now today I'm actually going to go through a very interesting version for Dracoslayer. Now the intended deck profile I was planning to do today was Sofa Chord Melodious. In my opinion, it was the best deck to handle Nibiru because that's the only reason why you're playing Dracoslayer. It's the only pendulum deck that can get hit with a Nibiru and just play, regardless. Now the problem is with the deck is that if they don't Nibiru on Pendulum Summon and they just wait because Appaloosa is banned, they can literally wait until you're going to put on your last card and grab the entire board with that Nibiru. In other words, you will always lose to Nibiru if your opponent was smart enough to wait. Now, this deck profile is vastly different. I can manage getting hit with the Nibiru and it can outright negate it if they don't do it on Pendulum Summon. I can actually genuinely get it up before. Now, there's a lot of changes. First up, I'm only playing 2 Luster, triple Ignis, triple Majesty, and 1 Dynamis Power Loader. If you're wondering why it's significantly changed to this, is because I don't really combo off using the Dracoslayers anymore. The Dracoslayers, if I combo off that way, I will always be able to get hit with the Nibiru, and it's devastating if they don't do it on the Pendulum Summon. So, in other words, the Dracoslayers are lacking. What's actually really hard carrying the deck is the Superheavy Samurai. But nonetheless, you still play enough that if you draw the Dracoslayer hand, you just combo off and still put up at least 8 to 9 interruptions. No exaggeration on those numbers. So if they don't have anything, you just combo off, and you really and only truly need one of the water one, because you're only going to see one throughout the entire combo and you don't need to play a next one. I'm not actually playing the fusion anymore, so you definitely don't need more than one. And its scale is 6. The minimum you want to put in the zone is 7. Next up, we have the triple revolution, 1 arc, and 1 dissolver. This is just for the fusion package, but of course you're playing cards for your hieratic seal. But before that, we're playing Chaos Emperor. Normally I'm playing Oda Phantasma Dragon just for a free add, but Phantasma isn't doing anything much, so I cut it from the deck. The reason why is that I can still make the end board without it. I can still make the end board through a Nibiru without it. So there's no need for it to be in the deck. But however, you're going to always get a free add if you go uninterrupted, and this is the most ideal card to get. While your last card is Aether Dragon, you can play Amorphic Sloth, but I don't recommend it. The reason why is Sloth loses to a lot of things. Your opponent can just draw Imperm and negate it. Like, with enough interruptions, the Imperm will actually negate it, and they just run it over. Or your opponent can Dark Ruler, punch over everything else, and leave the Sloth on the field and combo off. And then when they end their turn, your Sloth just puts you in a very bad position, because it's not like when it was just introduced to the game. There are actual ways to deal with it now. Aether, on the other hand, every time it's summoned, I get to banish one of my opponent monsters. And it's not a hard once per turn. I can tribute summon this, then pop it, pendulum summon it back the same turn. Even if I was to get it back from the grave, I can special it again, which is going to be an option as well. So it's just good. Every time I see it, I know it's going to pressure my opponent instantly. It applies pressure every single time it's summoned, and if your opponent lets it get out of hand, they're just going to outright lose. Now, the best part of the deck, and I'm glad these cards got a rarity bump: triple Wakashu, 1 Big Monk, triple Motorbike, and Pierce and Soul Horns. Soul Horns is mandatory, you have to play it. Pierce is really in here because I don't want to hard draw the Soul Horns and there's nothing to add. So I just want that free add. The free add makes a difference. And this also gives you a +1 every time it hits the grave, so there's just no negative repercussions to this. Monk, you should be playing 2. However, I just play 1 because I have a bad habit of drawing the 2, I don't know how. So I just accepted fate. If I'm going to draw the 1 copy, it's fine. But you guys should be playing 2, I'm just really bad lucky. No joke. Persons think it's an exaggeration until they actually see what happens to me. I'm the type of person who pot of desires and banish all low skills in deck. And then you find out how much low skills it was like 9. I happened twice in the same tournament. Real bad luck. And then the engine that goes with it now is Magispectors. Yep. Magispectors is the way out of this. So you have 3 Bunbuku, 3 Crow, and well, Yato, and 1 Yamarashi. Yamarashi is just an extendo. It doesn't actually matter much. What's the real aim of it is that you want to get a level 3 Pendulum Monsoon. Previously, the combos were focused on level 4, but due to the change in the combo line, you are now dependent on the level 3 Pendulum monsters. Yep, you are. So, really and truly, your normal summon is Bunbuku for the deck, but Crow essentially gets you into the Bunbuku regardless, so it's always a level 3. You're essentially playing 6 normal summons, so you should sturdily have a way to normal summon and get into a level 3 on the field. Even if you don't get it, it's fine. You can still do combos of lesser variant, like you're not going to put up the lavishing 11 interruptions, but you can still put up a sturdy 7 or 8, which is normally more than enough to win a duel. Through interruptions as well. The deck can tank 1 interruption on the go. It doesn't phase on the first interruption. Even if they negate the Bunbuku, you're still going to give them like 12 interruptions. Around that amount. And then a few extenders. Of course, we have to be playing Astrograph. Like, that's mandatory. That's not debatable. However, the new MVP for the deck is Chronograph. And of course, with Chronograph, you have to play the Time Gazer because he's a way to cheat out finding a level 3. So if I just hard draw him, that's good. The only last option that made sense was the Symphonic Warriors, but I just didn't want to push the deck over 40. I'm already showing you 42 card deck now. And I really wanted to reduce it so it heightens the chance for me to draw into the Super Heavy, because they're hard carrying the deck right now. So Super Heavy right now for Pendulum decks is between you're going to main deck the Super Heavy engine or you're going to main deck the Ostinato engine. And they directly clash with each other. You cannot play both in the same deck. So it's one or the other. And I'm telling you that either one is really good. But hey, are you going to draw one of the 3 Ostinato every duel, or you're going to draw one of the 6 Super Heavy Samurai between the motorbike or the Wakashi? Crazy. And then the hurtful part is, it's not like these have search spells, because if you had a search spell for Super Heavy Samurai, it would have been really good. Like, it would have been consistent, but they already have enough normal summon rotos. But you're not playing pure Super Heavy for obvious reasons. So that's it for these extenders. And the last part of the deck is, it's supposed to be triple Zephrino, but I'm only going to play 2, and as you can see, I only have 1 copy per now. I'll most likely get the next copy tomorrow or within the week. My friend already has a card, so it's good. Now, with that, when you summon it, you're not going to put it in skill in at all. It's just the combo line, it's required to play a minimum of 2. You always need 1 in deck. You probably want to play 3. I just don't really want to play a 42 or more card deck. But that's just me being me. For your last one up, you have, of course, Magispectral Wind, Sky Iris, and you do require your Zephyr Divine Strike. I love this counter trap for many reasons. One, it's not a hard once per turn. So really and truly, I can actually activate 2. So you can play 2 if you want. But the thing is, if you draw 1, it doesn't matter. It's still a counter trap that can still activate. So you can just genuinely play 2. I just don't want to play 2. As I said, I'm trying to cut down the space on the main deck because it's a lot of cards. I'm not going to play any 60 card deck. I can assure you of that. So last one up for the extra deck. Now this is not uncommon. It's Vortex. Vortex is a very good card. Unfortunately, as our Omni Negate, it's normally the last card you summon from your extra deck. That's just how the combo line works. It's always last going to be summoned. You can't even force it out to be summoned first because you're still going to need the zones to play. Now, MVP for the deck profile is going to be Denglong. Denglong has been majestic. He's been on a different level. I can finally see why this card was banned. And I'm shocked. This card has 3 effects that are going to be triggered on the first turn. Really and truly, I could actually play the combo line different. But really and truly, I don't think anyone is not going to negate Denglong. And especially everyone in my country watches these deck videos, so I know I'm not going to catch anyone off guard. Denglong on summon adds. You can add any Yangzing. So it cannot add the Divine Strike directly. If it could, it would have been on a different level because I would have 2. Now, it can then send a Worm monster from your deck to change its level. Unfortunately, can't change the attribute because I would have done some crazy things. But yeah, it can change its level, but that will not come up because you're always going to synchro with it. And I'm not going to put on, say, hey, let's make it mandatory for the dual combos by changing the level. Then your opponent just activates 1 imperm, you don't get the add, you don't get to change the level. But you can always send as cost. So if they imperm, you can always just send. So none of those effects are why you're actually even playing with it. The real kicker is that if he leaves the field, not even by card effect, I'm just going to read this for you because it's unbelievable. If this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon 1 Yangzing monster. The card is on a different level. It has 3 extremely good effects that are being triggered on the first turn. The only drawback to this card is that you can't special summon more than 1 for the turn. That's insane. I finally saw why this card was banned. We'll play 1 Ignis so everybody knows why Ignis is here. I don't even need to go there. He's like the MVP of the deck. And then our last synchro is Arms of Genex Return 0. You're going to summon this and you're going to have every attribute in your graveyard. And it's going to be one of the first cards you summon, so your combos should be safe from monster effects. Yep. So if, like, persons who know me and know what to wait on no longer have that luxury. Because once they see this, it's most likely going to negate not only the Nibiru, Ash, or anything stupid that can actually stop me. It's there. We have Vibes Cartels, straight out of jail, hashtag timeless. And for the Link monsters, we have Spheres, the normal lineup. Here we go. We have Musicia, Beyond, Exceed, and Trigate. You're obviously going to do some Trigate stuff. This card isn't even that good. If we had Electromite, would immediately toss this out. Immediately, without debate. But the useful part is that if you play it, you get a +3 just by doing it. So you almost always have to play it. Because you can't just give up the free +3. But at the same time, it's really not doing that much. And for your rest of Link monsters, we have Promethean Princess. Pretty obvious how to play her. The carrier that has to go with it, Amphibious Carrier. And of course, Zelantis has to be played. Firewall. Shout out to Sweetland. He got this card from me. It's really beautiful. And Singularity. The combo, I'm going to post the combo in a separate deck profile for everyone. So, because a lot of persons want the combo videos separate so that they can just rewatch the combos many times without being interrupted, like they don't have to skip to the end. So unfortunately, this is where the deck profile will end for us. However, the next video will be the combo. Now, I'm going to say to you guys, the combo is wild. You literally end on something like 9 or 10 negate. You see, because it's arms going to be on the field, it's not limited to just 1 negate. But realistic expectation, I don't expect it to negate more than 2 times for the turn. But that's it, guys. You can tell me what you think of the deck profile down below. I'll be posting the combo in a separate video for you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.